So thank you very much for joining us, everyone. And thank you, Sushant Prabhu, for having us over. So the program is very straightforward. All we will do is we will chant Krishna's names for a while. And after chanting, we will speak something from Srimad Bhagavatam, which is very important. And then we continue our chanting. So my request, my humble request to everyone is, a program becomes very, very relishing if everyone participates in chanting. So I will start by chanting. It's a very simple Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. And I think everyone will be able to chant. So let me start, and then I'll request you to chant. And then when you chant, I can hear you. So that helps me also, right? So let's do that. And I'm sure you'll find it very enriching, very inspiring. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Jai Shri Hari Ram Sankirtan Yajna ki
Jai.
I was just reflecting as I was chanting. What an auspicious way to have a birthday. It's actually the best way to celebrate someone's life. You could have celebrated a birthday in any which way you wanted, but the vibrations will be different, right? The whole purpose of having such programs is you will find that in the last 10 minutes, the vibrations that we were chanting actually produces spiritual bliss, and it is not material happiness. It is stated in Bhagavatam that everyone is running after material happiness, but they don't understand that just as they're running after material happiness, the material miseries are running after them. So we run after happiness, but we don't realize that in this material world, the nature of the happiness is very often temporary. And the reason why happiness in this world is temporary is because the nature of the world is temporary. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna describes this world as Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. Dukhalayam Ashashvatam means a place which has misery, anxiety, and the reason for this misery and anxiety is very often because everything is temporary. Now we may want to ask, what is the relationship between anxiety and the fact that we live in a world which is temporary? The reason is because when we develop attachment for that which cannot last, then that attachment can only continue as long as that object is with you. And when the object or the person leaves you, then that attachment becomes painful. Very often attachment is a beautiful thing as long as the object of your attachment is with you. But when the object of the attachment leaves you, either by force of time, by force of death, by force of separation, you will find that that happiness that we have had is very often compromised by moments of pain and anxiety and difficulty. So that's why all belief systems in the world come down to the same denominator. The fact that we have to accept that the nature of this world is actually temporary. Temporary doesn't mean it is not real. Sometimes you hear the word, everything is an illusion. Illusion does not mean that it doesn't exist. If you come and gave me a slap on my face and you told me, this is illusion, it didn't happen, it's not true, it actually happened. But the good news is, the pain that you have just given me through the slap will not last forever. It will be there for a while. In the same way, the happiness that you're running after, though very sweet, will eventually also leave us. Which is why the scriptures say very nicely, Yam yam artam upadate, dukkena shukkena hetave. For a fleeting moment of happiness, which is material in this world, we have to undertake so much of difficulty and challenge, just for a fleeting moment of happiness. If you have read the Mahabharata, there is a moment in the Mahabharata where Yudhishthira Maharaj explains this point in a story. He says that there was this man, he was living in a village, and he heard that there was a forest nearby, and in that forest there was an amazing beehive which produced the best honey. And so the man's goal at that point was to have a taste of that honey. But he was told by many people that the forest is dark, it is strife with problems and dangers, wild animals. There was also rumor that the forest was also haunted, and therefore he was told, it's not worth your effort. Why should you go into the forest? But in his desire to get that drop of honey, which he thought was very, very important, the man decided, let me cross the boundary of the village and the forest, and I will get into the forest. So he gets into the forest. And the moment he gets in the forest, this is the story that Yudhishthira Maharaj is saying, he gets attacked by wild animals. And so he runs away from them deeper into the forest. As he gets deeper into the forest, he hears, very frightening howls, and he suddenly spies ghostly beings. And he runs away from them also. And he runs and runs until he comes to the middle of the forest, and there's a giant oak tree. And as he comes to the oak tree, he doesn't see, in his hurry he's running, and he trips over one of the branches, one of the roots of the oak trees. No, I'm sorry, it's a banyan tree. And you know banyan trees have roots which are outside, right? They are on the surface. So he trips over one of the roots, and he thinks he's going to fall. But what happens is, he finds himself dangling, because right in front of him, because in the dark he could not see, there was a large gaping hole. And all that's keeping him from falling into the hole is actually his feet have got stuck in the roots of the tree. So he's dangling there. And as he looks down, he sees two very piercing eyes looking up at him. And he realizes that there is a terrifying serpent at the bottom of this hole. Now when he looks up, he sees the wild animals on that side and the ghostly beings on this side. And he's in an extremely precarious situation. Right? He's thinking the only thing that's keeping me from falling in is actually the roots. But if I come out, I'm also in trouble. So he's somewhere in between. Now at that moment, what happens is that as he looks up, he realizes that there are rats. There are black rats and there are white rats. and they are now gnawing into the roots of the tree where his feet are. So he's in big trouble, because it's only a matter of time, either he becomes prey to the serpent or he becomes prey to whatever that's on the surface. Now, in his movement, he has actually moved the tree, in his restless movement, he doesn't realize that he's actually disturbed the hive, which is at the top of the banyan tree. And that's the goal of why he came, because he wanted the honey. So Yudhishthira Maharaj says, because he had disturbed the hive, the bees have started moving. I don't know whether any one of you have been stung by bees. I wouldn't wish it on you, but I have been. I can tell you it's not a good feeling. It's not. And what happens is that the bees became irritated, and they saw this gentleman to be the source of their irritation. So they start swarming the place, and the man is being stung by bees. The rats, white and black, are gnawing into the roots. The serpent is waiting for him to fall. The animals are waiting just in the moment he's able to come out. All the ghostly beings are there. But Yudhishthira Maharaj said, despite all these calamities and difficulties that the man is experiencing, he was still smiling to himself. Because he realized that while he was dangling upside down in a very precarious situation, if he just stuck out his tongue just a little bit, he could actually taste a drop of honey which was dropping from the top because the bees had moved, and some honey was dropping. And he found that in that situation, as he tasted the honey, he thought, this is not so bad. I'm all right. I can survive this situation. And Yudhishthira Maharaj said, this is our situation in life. He describes this forest as the forest of material enjoyment. We're all trying to enjoy in this forest because we think that is our birthright. It is our birthright. But our birthright is to enjoy something with higher taste. Something that will last longer than what we have here. So, the birthright is correct. But what we're enjoying is not very permanent. So then he says that this banyan tree with the bees and all the other disturbances are the disturbances of our lives. Sometimes we think that they are pleasant, but actually we don't realize that they are constantly putting us in a state of anxiety. The black rats and the white rats represent night and day. And this oak tree, the root of the tree that holds the man's feet, represents time. And as day and night eats into time, the man's life is going. He doesn't realize that. Like when we say, I am 50 years old. The very reason why we say we are 50 years old is because actually we should be remembering that we are inching closer and closer to the time when we will not be here. And therefore the true purpose of a birthday is not to celebrate what we are, but it is to celebrate and be grateful for what we have. Because what we have will not be with us. Eventually either we will leave it or it will leave us. And if what we have is temporary by nature, then by nature it doesn't have much value. But if it is connected to that which is permanent, then it has value. Krishna says in Bhagavatam a very important point. Hrideya ritam yat pratyeta na pratyeta charpari. Tad vidvan atmano maya yatha bhaso yatha tamaha. The meaning is very nice. He tells to Brahma, Brahma, please know one point. If there is anything in this world that has great value, that is so. But if it is not connected to me, it actually has no value. So you may have the best house, you may have the most amount of bank balance in the world, but if it is not used in the service of Krishna, it will be used in the service of illusion. And eventually it will leave you. But if it is used in the service of Krishna, then it stays with you. This is an example of what we have today. Sushant, you and Jyotika have made so much of arrangements for Charu's birthday. And the point is, this entire reason we are here today is to somehow or another be connected to Krishna. We started our chanting by becoming connected to Krishna. And we are speaking about topics which will connect us to Krishna. And we will end the program by chanting again to connect with Krishna. So therefore, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, the Torah, the Bible, the Quran, they all have the same point. Until and unless you establish a connection with your Creator, then whatever connections you have in this world are going to be temporary. They will leave you or you will leave them. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj ends by saying a very powerful point to the Pandavas and to everyone who was assembled. He said, just for a fraction of a minute, where this man was tasting honey and he thought it was very nice, he was so foolish that he could not understand the precarious situation he was in. He could not understand that death was stalking him, and yet he thought he was in a moment of bliss. And Yudhishthira Maharaj ends the episode by saying, this is our situation. When Yudhishthira Maharaj is asked in the Mahabharata, what is the most wonderful thing in the world? You know what he replies? He says, the most wonderful thing in the world is that every day someone is dying. But those who live really believe that they will live forever. That is the most wonderful thing in the world. So a birthday is a moment for contemplation. It is a moment to realize my time is running. And therefore I better make use of my time to connect with what is really permanent and not that which is temporary. If something really belonged to us in this world, we should have come with it, or at least we should leave with it. If you say that this unit belongs to you, you may be the owner on your title deeds, but at the end of the day, your title deeds don't come with you, and this property also doesn't come with you. In fact, at the end of the day, Shastras tell us even this sharir cannot come with you. It is either burnt or buried, but it cannot come with you. And no baby, none of us were born with any degrees that we got in our previous life. And no matter how many degrees you get now also, it's not going to come with you. Nothing. We have no remembrance of the fact that in last life, 90% of us would have been married. 95% of us would probably have had children. But we have no recollection of those wives and those husbands and those children. Maybe it's good, if you think about it, maybe it's good. Krishna says it's good actually you don't remember past lives because it'll be too much. One wife, one husband, I think is enough. To remember too many is difficult. But the fact is, at that moment when you lived, you thought they were everything. Just like right now we think that our family is everything. But in the end, when we leave this world, it comes to nothing. In Bhagavatam, there is this devotee Chitraketu Maharaj. He has lost his son because his son dies unexpectedly because the other queens were very jealous of the one queen who gave birth to the son. The others were barren. And therefore, in the night, unknown to him, they poisoned the son. And the son dies. And the whole kingdom and the king plunge into grief. And he cannot do anything until Narada Muni, the great devotee, comes. And Narada speaks to him. And then Narada, because of his potent powers, he calls for the soul of the child to inhabit the child. And the child wakes up. And Narada says, my dear child, your father is here and he is missing you very much. And the child says something very powerful. The child looks to Narada and says, my dear Narada, which father and in which life? And that hits Chitraketu Maharaj. Because here he was thinking, this is the only child and this is the only life. And this child is the source of my happiness. But he did not realize that the source of our happiness is not that which is temporary. The source of our true happiness is that which is permanent. And only God is permanent. We are permanent to the extent that we are spirit souls. But until we have this relationship established or re-established again, then spiritual life will keep us peaceful. Spiritual life will keep us very, very peaceful. When your happiness is dependent on another entity which is also temporary, how can you think that that happiness which is dependent on that which is temporary will be permanent? It just doesn't make sense either. If you want your happiness to be permanent, ride on something permanent and it will be permanent. If it is riding on something temporary, it must end. That's it. So this is the point that we must understand. I end with this very nice point. In Dwarka, on Wednesdays, if you go, how many of you have been to Dwarka now? I don't mean the Dwarka in Delhi, but Dwarka in Gujarat. Right? If you've been to Dwarka Dham, that is the place where Krishna was, one of the most beautiful pilgrimage places in India. Right? And I think you should go. You should go. How many of you are from India anyway? Right? So most of you are, and you have a great heritage. I'm born in Singapore. Parents are born in Singapore. Grandparents are born in Singapore. So if not for rediscovering my spiritual heritage, I would have very little to do with India. And I can tell you, our heritage is going on. Even amongst us, we are losing touch. Many of us have no connection with our sastras. We don't know Bhagavad Gita. We have no idea what Bhagavatam is. But we hear everything on internet and TikTok and this and that, and we take this and we take that, and we think it is religion. But it is just speculation, you see. So it's so important to be able to be grounded. If you want to take up a path, take it up because you know there is evidence of its reality. Not that it is hodgepodge, not that it is speculated. So in Dwarka Dham on Wednesdays, Rukmini Mata, Satyabhama, one of the principal queens of Krishna, she would invite everyone and she would give charity. One day Narada comes to Dwarka and he walks in and he says, Satyabhama, you are giving charity. Can I ask for something? And Satyabhama says, actually you are very renounced, Narada. And I know you will not ask for anything material. But ask and I will try to give it to you. Whatever you ask, I am sworn to give it. And then he says, give me what is most precious to you. And I will take it today. So Satyabhama thought, I've got a good jewelry collection. It's very precious to me. But I'm very charitable. And so she takes all the jewelry out. And she gives it to Narada. Narada says, is this the most precious thing you have, Satyabhama? And Satyabhama became very scared. Because she realized in her heart that her most precious object is the object of her worship. And that's Krishna. And now she thought, I can't give you Krishna. Because if I give you Krishna, then I won't have Krishna. But then Narada smiled at her and said, but you have just promised me that you must give Krishna. So then Satyabhama was thinking, why don't I give you something which is as valuable as Krishna? Then we'll bargain it off, It's as valuable as Krishna, you take it and go. So Narada was patient. He said, all right, you find it. And so she calls Krishna. Now you all know that the rasa between Satyabhama and Krishna is very different between the rasa of Rukmini and Krishna. Rukmini Mata always served Krishna. Satyabhama was very powerful. And Krishna always behaved like the perfect hand-packed husband when he came to Satyabhama. So Satyabhama said, Krishna, come in. And she got these big weighing scales. And she said, Krishna, you sit on the side, sit on one side. So Krishna very obediently sat. And of course the scales went down. The other part was up. Now Satyabhama started taking everything in a house. And she thought, all that I have, which is quite a lot, it will surely come to a point where we will attain parity. And then we can give it to Narada. And so she tries very hard. But no matter what she gets, Krishna doesn't even move an inch. Now she's desperate. She goes to Rukmini's palace and she says, Rukmini, we have a problem. And it's not just my problem, right? It's your problem also. Come with me. So Rukmini comes and says, what's the problem? And she says, listen, Narada has come. He's asked now for Krishna. I can't give Krishna. Can you find something which is the equivalent of the weight of Krishna? And so Rukmini said, it's very simple. Take off all your jewelry and everything. And what does Rukmini do? She goes to the garden. She sees the beautiful flower. She sees the beautiful plant of Tulsi Maharani. And you all know Tulsi Maharani is a plant which is very dear to Krishna because Tulsi is considered to be the purest of the devotees of Krishna. So what does she do? She plucks a little small leaf, Tulsi leaf. She brings it, she puts it on the other side of the scale, and Krishna goes all the way up. Not even parity, all the way up. And the scale on the side of the small leaf goes all the way down. And Rukmini turns to Satyabhama and said, my dear foolish sister, you have forgotten one very important principle. The only thing that is more valuable to Krishna are his devotees. And the only thing as valuable as the devotees is bhakti, devotional service. Where you have devotional service or the sincere practice of it, and where you have the sadhu sangha of devotees, that is more valuable to Krishna than anything else. And this is how we should live in this world. We should live in this world in such a way that we don't run after that which is going to run away from us. We should run after that which is going to stay with us. Bhakti will stay with us. The practice of bhakti will stay with us. The association of devotees will stay with us. In the association of saintly persons, it is stated if you are a drunkard, you can still become saintly. But in the association of drunkards, if you're in the association of drunkards, even if you try to be saintly, because of that association, you may become drunk. But if you're in the association of saintly people, but you are not at all saintly, you can become saintly. So association matters, company matters. Who you keep company with is what you become. Right? We tell this to our children anyway, all the time. We want them to be in the right company, but it's not always easy. So my request to everyone is to always re-establish our relationship with Krishna. What is the best way to do it? Just chant his names. Today we just chanted. Sushant Prabhu was very intelligent. He didn't get a Purohit to come here and do any yajnas or anything. Nothing. Because if he had done that, he would have been charged minimum of $500. And on top of that, he would have to get all these things, and put them together and we'll have a big oven. But in Kali Yuga, the only thing that's needed is to chant Krishna's names. You just need to chant the names of God. That's all. The Bible says that. The Quran says that. The Gita says that. They are all very, very aligned on that point. And it's so simple. We chanted for 10-15 minutes. It was very blissful. Now we heard about Krishna. And that was also very blissful. Now let's go back to chanting. And in that way we should end our program. Are we good? Charu Mataji, are you happy?
Very good.
Yeah, you should pray. You have a great set of friends and family. They worked so hard to get the surprise in. We came in just in time, equally surprised. We had no clue what was happening. I'm glad you didn't know, because that was the point of it. And I'm glad that they surprised you. So, thank you, Sushant Prabhu, for having us. The only regret I feel is Jutika. She's not here. Okay, she's watching. Jutika, if you're watching, thank you very much for organizing this. Krishna's arrangement was that you're not here, but at least you're here in spirit. Take care of your health. Health is very, very important. So shall we chant? Yes. And shall we chant in such a way that we chant very loudly? We should, because the louder you are with chanting the holy names, the more absorbed you are. Don't worry whether you're a good singer, you're a bad singer. Krishna's not interested in how you sing. And believe me, even if you sing very badly, the person next to you will not fail. They will survive. Right? They will be okay. And this is not a social function. So nobody is worried about how we look, what we are doing. We're just trying to concentrate on Krishna. That's all we're doing. Jai Shri Shri Radha Raman Ji ki
Jai.
Jai Radha Raman Hari Jai Radha Raman Hari
Jai Radha Raman Hari Bol. Jai Radha Raman Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Jaya Radha Raman Hari Bol, Jaya Radha Raman Hari Bol,
Jai Radha Raman Hari Bol. Jai Radha Raman Hari Bol.
Jaya Radha Raman Hari Bol, Jaya Radha Raman Hari Bol,
Jai Radha Raman Hari Bol. Jai Radha Raman Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Your turn.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Gopal Jaya Jaya Radha Raman Hari Govind Jaya Jaya Govind Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Govind Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radha Raman Hari Govind Jaya Jaya Radha Raman Hari Govind Jaya Jaya Radhe Govinda Radhe Gopala Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe Gopala Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe Gopala Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe Gopala Radhe Govinda Radhe Gopala Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Radha Raman Hari Jaya Radha Raman Hari
Jaya Radha Raman Hari Bol, Jaya Radha Raman Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari
Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai.
Hare Krishna Mahamantra Yuga Dharma ki
Jai.
Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Nitai Gaura Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.
We do these programs very often if devotees invite us. In fact, we've had so many programs in Waterside. We have devotees staying in Waterside too. So, I don't know how we got connected. Maybe Jutika knew someone who knew us. But generally, we have regular programs that we do in our center, which is in Stratford Road. And then we normally have programs where we discuss the Gita. We have children's programs, we have youth programs, and we have a very large one.